right. Good day, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending which part of the world you are. My name is Federico Hernandez from the Rum Lab here today at savvy.co. I'm super excited for this live stream again. I'm back in my house, which is good internet. And I'm ready. Today, when I talked with my team, with my friends at Plantation Rum, we're looking for a good seminar to do, especially because today we released one of our guests, which is Don Benn's interview of the week at the rumlab.com. For those of you who would like to learn more about Don, you can go to the rumlab.com and you can find out a little bit or learn more about this fellow or great gentleman. Really quickly, let me explain about for everybody who's new. We have our tools to your right. Our tools are basically our chat box where you can write any comment. I see a lot of people are writing comments already. This is great. Hey, Liam is here, which is great. Dave Russells, John Atkins, Jules. Jules, you should be here. More people. This is great, but as you know, to your right, we have all that the chat box right there. If you have any questions during the event, make sure to put them on the very bottom area where we have our ask questions. At the very end, we'll be responding as many questions as possible. We do ask everybody, please to share the event with your friends. If you're watching us right now on Facebook or on YouTube, come to Savvy, go to zavvy.co and join our presentation here. This is where you can ask questions directly to our guest. Well, I believe enough said. Today's agenda is going to be 30-40 minutes about our main presentation. Then I'll share some contact information. Then we'll go to a rum o'clock. Make sure to get some rum, especially from Barbados today. Let's deep dive. Today's main topic is West Indies Rum Distillery, diving into 4 generations of rum making. And I think I wanted to share this in the very beginning. I was trying to. I was talking with the team at Plantation Rum. I wanted to do something different that hasn't been showcased, and they came out with something beautiful. I'm sure everybody's going to be very excited. Today's guests, we have Don Benn and Alexandre Gabriel. Let me bring them on board and take this opportunity so they can give us a little bit more in depth about who they are and do they play golf.
Oh, Federico, I will definitely take that one up. No, I don't play golf. However, I play a lot of cricket.
Yes, cricket, of course. We have to play cricket.
Yeah. You may have seen I play a bit of road tennis. I'm retired now, thankfully. And I'm also an avid squash fan. But that's just me on the personal side. Professionally, I've been here now at West Indies Rum for about 22 years. I'm currently in the post of operations manager and master distiller. Work with a great team. It's about 70 persons in the company. I'm directly responsible for about 30 of them. And our job every day is to really come to work, have fun. You said you're home. I'm home as well, but there's actually a distillery in the background. And, you're making great rum, great Barbados rum every day. That's really our job and what our passion is. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I'm about 40 years old, give or take a few years. I want to reveal my exact age. You can guess that. And I've been
Don, are you gonna start saying that you're single and you're trying to pick on people right now?
My wife is watching, so I'm not allowed to say I'm single. And I've been living and working in Barbados practically my whole working life. So no better place to be doing making rum.
Excellent. And what about you, Alexander?
Well, great to be here. Thank you. I'm 40 years as well, give and take, right? Should I say that, Don?
Yeah, I think
I'll say 50. I'll say 50, give and take. So sports, road tennis, definitely road tennis, the best sport in the world. I was taught
Hmm.
by the team at the distillery in Barbados to do road tennis. And whether you are in Barbados at West Indies Rum Distillery or you are at Maison Ferrand in Cognac, you are playing road tennis. That's our international sport. We love it.
Yeah.
And for the ones
what
who
is road
don't know
tennis?
it, yeah, road tennis, you have to check it on internet. It's an international sport that started in Barbados and is slowly conquering the world. It's basically Don, you want to explain it in a nutshell? It's a great sport. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
it.
sure. Very quickly, I mean, if you do a YouTube search for road tennis Barbados, you will actually see the game in action. But it's generally played with two players. You're almost set up like playing table tennis, but instead of the size of the table tennis or elevated, it's actually played at ground level, and the court dimensions are slightly bigger. You're playing with a wooden paddle or wooden racket, as we call them. Again, bigger and heavier than a table tennis paddle, and the ball is usually like the size of a tennis ball, but without the outer layer, the green fur. So it's actually a very smooth ball, and you have pretty much the same rules as ping pong. The first serve is two bounces, and after that, you're hitting it over a net onto the other court, and you play until you win the rally. It's very taxing on your knees, on your hips, etc., because you're really low on the ground. But it's great fun, and Alexander is actually taken to it quite well. So I'm pretty sure when he comes back, he'll show us a thing or two on the court.
All right, I love. There's a game called pickleball that I play a lot, and then so I think that's what I'm gonna do. Once the rum festival start, instead of doing like a golf competition, I was looking for something to do, and I think that's
Oh,
what
road
I'm gonna
tennis.
do, like a
Road
road
tennis.
tennis competition.
Yeah,
Road
great.
tennis, it's an incredible sport. We'll show you. We'll show you. So just
All
in a
right,
nutshell, beside playing road tennis, I created Plantation Rum. I'm the master blender of Plantation Rum. I'm fortunate to work with a great team at West Indies Rum Distillery. We consider our, Maison Ferrand West Indies Rum Distillery to be married together. We are living this life together, making great rum together. And I'm really excited to do this presentation. I want everybody to know this is the first time we do a presentation about the heritage and actually the gentleman who started West Indies Rum Distillery as we know it right now in 1893. And I want to say a great thanks to the team at the distillery. Andrew, who works with Don, has been an incredible guy searching through the archives and teaching Don and I and the rest of the team a lot about all of what we know now about the history of West Indies Rum Distillery. And don't forget that Don, even though he's 40, give and take, has been working as a master distiller for 20 years, 21 years, right, Don, at West Indies Rum Distillery. So you have a lot of experience in front of you, and I really enjoy working with Don. A great guy.
Yeah. So
all
yeah,
right. So
2021,
let's deep
almost
dive a little
22
bit. Let's
years.
go.
Hmm.
So you started when you were 20.
Yeah, so you'll work
Done.
it out eventually. But yeah, around that.
All right. So let's talk a little bit more. Let's deep dive. We'll start with some questions that I have. What are the essential characteristics of Barbados rum?
Right. So for those of you who've never seen West Indies rum, that's actually a picture of our distillery taken from, say, the western side looking east. We're right on the beach. It's in an area called Brighton. Now, for Barbados rum, I wouldn't say you have to be located on the beach, but I guess it would help. And typically, Barbados rums or Barbadian rums reflect the culture of Barbados. Can be a bit understated, conservative, but we are very proud of who we are and what we can achieve. So the words elegance and balance normally come to mind when you're speaking about Barbados rum. It's not an explosive rum on the palate. It's not going to jump out at you at that first taste. You're not going to be overpowered by maybe the aroma of esters or other components. But if you really take your time and taste it repeatedly, I mean, you're going to get the subtlety of the rum, the hint of ester, the hint of fusels. It's a medium-bodied rum primarily. But, you're really talking about not being overpowered by any one congener or being overpowered by the wood. So typically Barbados rums are in that 5 to 10 year category, that range. We do get some younger, but not much, a lot older than that. After that, the wood really, I think, overpowers the rum. You get a bit of oak bitterness, and you're really not tasting the essence of the rum. In terms of blending on the technical side, we are not really 100% pot still type of rum. You get a few skews or a few expressions like that, but generally it's more of a blend of column and pot. And some distilleries would do that blend before aging. Others do the blend after aging. So you age the pot separately, age the column separately, and then the master blender really comes into play there. You know, how they put it together, knowing what they want to achieve at the end. So understated but elegant balance, and really a great rum to experience in any occasion.
That's a perfect description. And thank you very much. The Barbados Ocean, the turquoise blue clear water of Barbados is beautiful, and I used to go there a lot, and the flying fishes was something that was just gorgeous when you're like on a sailboat or a sunfish. Is You're very blessed to have such an amazing distillery, Barbados being so well known and producing so much amazing rum. Um, so let's talk about the main topic, right? Who is Georges Stades? And this question is for Alexander.
Well, I'm going to speak for the whole distillery here. The distillery itself is the brainchild of a gentleman and his team. You see him actually, if you look at that picture all the way to the right, and you see him with his team there. There's this incredible fermenting vat, all wooden made, that they had built, and they're very proudly showing you this in this very, very old picture. So in 1893, Georges Stades, who was an inventor, an incredible distiller with many patents under his name, somebody who wanted to make the best rum in the world. It's actually interesting. We now discover that he was actually also building equipment and consulting for other distilleries in fermentation, for example, in Jamaica, but also, pot stills throughout the Caribbean. And he wanted to build a distillery to showcase his skills and his team skills to make what he thought would be the best rum possible. So he settled for Barbados, and I'm not surprised, because Barbados, when Don is talking about understated, there's so much about Barbados rum, because that's linked to the culture that actually I think is extremely rich. And that is probably one of the reasons that Georges Stades chose Barbados. He was actually a guy from Europe, a guy from Germany, that fled Germany when Germany, he didn't like the government there, and became a British Caribbean citizen. And he chose Barbados because Barbados is a culture that's conservative in a great sense, meaning that they keep all the know-how and built on it. Barbados never did get rid of their old pot stills. At West Indies Rum Distillery, we still have, remember that bottle I gave you at the Rum Congress a while ago? That's a Greg, you showed that to me a little earlier. That's distilled from a still that was built in 1850, and it is still at the distillery, and it is still making rum. So Barbados keeps that great knowledge about a double batch distillation, and yet this incredible guy, Georges Stades, invented a column under his name with a patent, and so that is actually the Georges Stades column still. So you had that culture by learning from the past, yet learning from the present. See, that's the patent. Thanks for showing this. You'll see the drawings from Georges Stades, late 1800s. And that's his own column. The guy wants to make his own rum, and he builds and he designs his own column right there. Some pieces of that still we still have and we're still using. We don't have the whole still there, but if you look some of the air cooling system on the right of the right piece, that is still making rum as we speak, really. So that was just an incredible one-of-a-kind guy. And when an equipment to make the rum he dreamed about didn't exist, he simply made it. And he was also an engineer as well as master distiller. So really, West Indies Rum Distillery, people don't realize, is really the brainchild of this gentleman and his team to make the best rum possible. And we discover more and more about this gentleman because luckily this distillery, again, Barbados culture, very really preserves the heritage. So we have a room called the vault, in which all these documents, this document you're looking at, for example, all these documents from the late 1800s to nowadays have been safely guarded. And so we just have to dive through these cubic meters of documents. And so we're learning so much more about this man. Even though the name Stades is still very well known in Barbados, we'll talk about it later on. Every Bayesian person, I think, Don, you will agree, would know the name Stades. You know, the gentleman was kind of lost in history, and the relationship between him and this distillery, West Indies Rum Distillery, his brainchild, was not really known. That's what we're going to touch on today. So an incredible guy, really a rum giant for sure. When we look at the technical accomplishment of the rums he made.
And you're saying George is the one to the very right with the hats?
Yeah, that's the one with the right over there, and all the other guys are the guys at the distillery. You know, the whole team. Probably not the whole team, but some of the team. And the older guy on the right was Georges Stades.
And doing a 54,000 gallon fermentation vat at that time was that normal?
I don't think
that was a big one.
It says there was the largest fermenting vat in the world at that time. So no, that would not have been very normal. And just so that everybody knows it, I know the name Stades is on the label because, I mean, that was the brand that all of the rum blenders or brand owners in Barbados wanted to put onto the label, the name Stades. But his name is actually without the S at the end. It's Georges Stades. And then it would have been apostrophe S as Stades Rum. He viewed himself as really a pioneer, someone who wanted to marry local artisanal knowledge with scientific and technological expertise. So when he came to Barbados, really, he understood that, yes, rum was being made, but he wanted to show there were newer, more modern techniques to be used. So that's why the idea of patterns and designs were very strong for him. And we've continued that very, very strongly here at the distillery. So, I mean, he's not just a rum expert. He viewed himself as someone who was able to cross a number of industries, including sugar. So he also had a lot of patents within the sugar cane process, whether it be evaporators or filters. And I mean, he traveled widely. I mean, Alexandre mentioned Jamaica and Cuba. I'm understanding as well he visited Hawaii and had equipment there as well. So we've got a lot to be thankful for that he chose Barbados to basically start this process of marrying technology with local expertise and basically transforming rum making in Barbados. Yes, those are two of the patents he has there. Sorry, go ahead, Frederick.
No, sorry about this, Don. I just wanted to add on to what you were saying. Something that's really, and thank you, Don, and something that's really important to you, just put that idea in my head that I should mention this. Most distilleries of rum, Federico, are usually sugar mills that became distillery, right? For example, Long Pond, Clarendon, that was Monmouth Sugar Mill, and so on. West Indies Rum Distillery is a 19th century distillery that was not a sugar mill, was not a plantation, was actually a purposely built distillery. And that was kind of a first time back then where there was others, but that really to that detail of making it, that was really a distillery built to specifically make rum and not just rum, sugar, and different products. So it was really focused on making what we're drinking, and that was also very specific of that distillery. And the distillery never moved. And why the location was chosen there? Because to distill, what do you need? You need cane, Barbados. You need educated population. Barbados is very educated population. You need water, a lot of spring water.